All right, so just adding a little bit of follow-up to this now. We talked about this last night, and we talked about it earlier with capillaries. Okay, capillaries are where your arterial and your venous blood transfer. So rather, your blood transfers from your arteries to your veins, taking it back to the heart and to the lungs for it to pick up more oxygen and go back through the system. So the capillaries are all to the surface of your skin. One of the places where you have a lot of those is your face and your head. Okay, anybody's ever gotten a head injury? Right? What's that? Or watch professional wrestling, right? That's actually probably a good example.
Or certain metal bands.
When those guys want to, ham it up, what do? Right? Everybody knows they keep the little razor blades inside their wrist guards, and they're like, "Oh God, he hit me in the head with the chair," and they just go little nick there, and it just bleeds everywhere. And that's because all of those vessels are so close to the surface of the skin, in the head and on the face, that a little nick just bleeds just an insane amount, okay? So this is the first follow-up we're going to do. We're going to draw a downward X pattern across our opponent's face. And so it's, right, you're like, ugh. It sounds horrible, right? But is that going to kill them? No, it's not going to kill them. They're going to bleed a whole bunch. And, we were talking about fear response last night as well, or panic response. Some people realize that they're bleeding profusely out of their face and they freak out and they don't want anything to do with you anymore. Some people don't care. However, even if the people don't care, the thing that you've effectively done is you've robbed them of their vision, or you've impaired their vision because now they're bleeding profusely into their eyes. Okay? So, with all of our, anybody have a padded knife for me real quick? Thanks. So with all of our strikes now, all of our defensive cuts to the limbs, what we're going to do is we're just going to add a downward X follow-up to the face. I want to talk a little bit more about that, talking about the stick as well, because all you guys, Belinda walk as well, kind of share with you guys a little bit of what I kind of look for with that as well. But particularly with the knife, we'll look at this now. With the X, he cuts the one, I'm out, and I come back in, and I just go slash, slash, okay? 2, slash, slash. 3, slash, slash. 4, slash, slash. 5, slash, slash. 6, slash, slash. 7, slash, slash. High five. Slash and slash. Okay, so we're going to add that on. So the benefit of having an immediate follow-up like this, okay, and practicing it this way, is that there's really no real hiccup in your reaction time. So I was talking about this earlier, the way that your body develops a reflex. You have the PNS, not penis, because I know you're the guy in the room thinking it. That's your peripheral nervous system, okay? That is your sense of touch. 5 fingers, 5 toes. That's your sense of touch. That's your vision. That's your hearing. Actually, we'll draw Matt's here. Okay. That's Matt's sense of hearing. Any kind of sensory input that can come into your body, that's where it comes in from. It goes up to your brain, which is your CNS, your central nervous system. It gets processed, and then your brain makes the decision of what to do, and it sends that signal out to, or excuse me, as a motor output. Okay? So now, there's tons of things that can happen here that can slow this process down. But this is your basic reflex arc. Okay? That's how it works. Different things can slow this down or break it down. One of them is a lack of training. Another one is unfamiliarity with a particular circumstance or a particular kind of event. Particularly what we're talking about here with these angles of attack, the angles are the circumstances. Okay? This is the stimulus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, high five, 6, 7, and then a few others we'll talk about. That's the stimulus. Okay? And so the more time you spend practicing to respond to that stimulus, and the less responses that you have, the faster this becomes. Because once it gets through here, this is the easy part. You do something enough, you start to recognize it, your peripheral nervous system picks it up pretty fast, and that message has to go up here, and then it gets processed in here. So now this is kind of where the problem typically will develop, and this is something, in my opinion, that the Balintawak training methodology completely and totally takes care of. How many responses in your basics do you have to an angle 1? 1. How many for 2? 1. And so on. They don't bog you down with, a dozen answers to a stimulus, which means when it gets up here to the brain, there's far less processing that needs to happen. And then additionally, the fact that we drill it over and over and over so much, live, in flow, varying it, making it random, and then adding those elements, additional elements into the drilling methodology, that's why we get good very, very quickly as compared to other martial arts systems that don't use randomized flow training like that. So, other factors that can slow you down up here in the processing is fear, okay? There's really no way to banish fear. You're always going to be afraid when you're in a violent situation. It's just being accustomed with it and just letting go and being comfortable with what you need to do, okay? And then once all that processing occurs, then it shoots out here and we get our answer, okay, our motor output. So I try to keep everything I do as simple as possible because I don't want to muddy up this process. I don't want to make this more difficult than it already is, okay? So I've had people tell me like, well, Jerome's knife system's pretty basic, and it's pretty simple. And it's like, well, I said this in Ohio, I don't want to stand on one foot juggling chainsaws while somebody's trying to like stab me or cut me with a knife. So I keep it simple so I know that regardless of what's going on, I'm going to respond. Or I should say, I have a better chance of responding because I keep it simple and because we drill it constantly. So it is exactly like Balintawak in that respect. As we start going into some of the reflex drilling after lunch, you'll kind of see that. We'll put this into more of like a Balintawak kind of style play. So for right now, you've gotten an answer to a stimulus and you've gotten a counter to a stimulus. So after enough drilling, this process should just go whoosh, whoosh, just like that. We should not have any hang up through here. And as we started out with a lot of these responses, I could see you guys were thinking about, well, what does my foot do? What does my blade do? What is the timing? That's you getting stuck here. So just the more repetitions of you doing it, the faster it goes through. Okay? So I think that's the end of like all of my human anatomy and physiology 1 level lectures. You can put that up there. So the responses one more time. With the counter, he cuts his 1. Boom, scissor, and you just slash the face. I don't want you guys to hold back on this. Just be safe. Everyone's done Balintawak. You guys have control. Don't kill each other, okay? And for right now, until I tell you later on, I want you guys to work cutting as your counter instead of thrusting, because we're going to start being very, very dynamic as we continue on throughout the day. I don't want anybody to lose an eye, okay? So that was the 1 again, one more time. Boom, X, 2, X, 3, X, 4, X, 5, X, 6, X, 7, X, split, X. Okay? Go for it.